welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we're talking how to style the loose knit sweater. I think for so many of us, these types of pieces are already go-tos. Having a big chunky loose knit jumper or sweater, as some of us call them, is a bit of a staple now in people's wardrobes, particularly coming into those colder months. So what I wanted to do this week was focus on the loose knit sweater or the loose knit jumper as a piece that we might be trying to style in with pieces that are fitted. And of course we can wear a loose knit jumper just open and loose and comfortable over our jeans or over our skirts, but I wanted to kind of go a step further with you guys this week and show you how you can do some tucking and how you can do some layering without bulking yourself up. So let's just jump straight into it with the very first look. And in this look, I wanted to show you how to tuck in a thicker jumper and wear it with a pair of jeans without bulking up the front of the jean when you tuck that jumper in. So for this first look, I've got a pair of high-rise cropped leg, kind of mid to dark blue wash jean, and it's a bit of a straight leg. I've added in my grey V-neck jumper, I've put a scarf on over the top, and my shoes and belt match because I just wanted to kind of tie all those colours together but still keep it looking relaxed. Now, with this particular look, it is a very easy look to replicate. If you have a pair of jeans at home, particularly a high-rise pair of jeans, it makes tucking a lot easier. So one thing I see that's really common for people is just to pull down their knit over their hips and backside when they first put it on. And I think that's where we can end up emphasizing the width of our hips or making our backsides look quite wide and sometimes quite flat. So what we need to do instead is try and just lift the profile of that piece. So we're going to just tuck it in at the front, roughly around the first kind of belt loops that are next to your fly. If you tuck behind that area just lightly, not too tight, and then fold it over a little bit over the belt. On the edges there, just fold under those edges and follow that line around the back. It creates almost like an umbrella shape, and what this does is it makes your legs look longer and it also gives a little bit more shape to the knit. Another way you can do this is the same type of tuck but off center, and off center often won't feel as exposing, particularly if you're not used to tucking anything in. If you try the off center tuck, you can still elongate your legs and still take away some of that bulk from that knitwear. So for this next look, I wore a high-rise A-line leather skirt with my thigh-high black suede boots and a big oversized green jumper, which you might have seen in one of my previous looks. I think I wore it in the trench coat fit video that I did recently, which I'll link down below for you guys. With this particular look, it's such a bulky piece and this skirt doesn't have belt loops, but with this particular one, what you want to do is you do a front tuck. So you go around about the middle third of your midsection, you tuck just behind the skirt. You don't want to tuck in too much because that's where you're going to get that bulk. What you want to do instead is take around about 2 or 3 centimeters width from that bottom of your jumper, tuck that in and then fold it around underneath. Another way you could do this tuck, which is not so good if it's really, really cold because it's not going to help you. You're not going to be able to wear a thermal underneath it. But if it's mid-season weather and you're excited to crank out the knitwear, one other thing you can do is you can take the bottom of the knitwear and you can tuck it up underneath the bottom of your bra. This only works if your bra is a nice firm fit and if you've got either an underwire or a good elasticized base on the bottom of your bra. It's not going to work so much on bras that are a looser, softer fit, and it often doesn't work on bras that are like bralette styles because it just doesn't hold as much. So this next look is a bit more casual. I've got on the same pair of jeans that are high-waisted. I've got a white button-up shirt on, a red, blue, and off-white striped knit jumper, and I've got a longer kind of grey double-breasted blazer style coat with white sneakers. With this particular outfit, it can look really preppy depending on the neckline you go for. If you go for a crew neckline, which is the rounded neckline, with a button-up shirt underneath, it won't look as preppy as if you were to go for a V neckline. The other thing you want to make sure of as well is that you aren't letting the collar of the button-up shirt stick out from the collar of the knitwear. If it does, it will look more preppy. So if your personal style is more preppy, let the collar sit out and it'll achieve that kind of look. But if you're not going for that preppy kind of style outfit, then I would recommend you keep the collar of your shirt tucked into your knitwear. When you're styling this look and you want to keep that shirt looking nice, you want to make sure the bottom button is undone if you're going to wear that shirt out with the jumper over the top. The other thing you want to do is make sure you've done the cuffs up on the sleeves and hold onto the sleeves when you're putting them on. That way you're not having to shuffle around too much in that knitwear, because as you can see, when you put on a knit over the top of something that's quite fitted, it tends to kind of stick to your body and twist sometimes, so you just have to kind of untwist yourself and get it feeling comfortable. Another way you can style this look instead of having that shirt hanging out from the bottom is actually by tucking it in. And what this will do is it'll keep your legs still looking nice and long. And this is a better option for those of you who feel you're more petite. Sometimes having that shirt out underneath can actually make you look really long in the top half of your body and really short in the leg. So if you feel like that might be you, or that you might feel really short in this outfit, just try tucking that shirt in underneath and put the knit over the top, and you'll still get the same effect. It'll still look really cool and classic. And I just found it really fun with this outfit just to put on a sneaker with it, as opposed to say a flat or a pump. I just thought the sneaker just made it look a little bit more daytime and a bit more wearable for out and about. So for this next look, I've got what looks like a maxi skirt with a jumper over the top and a pair of thigh-high boots, but this particular piece is actually a dress with long sleeves. So what I've done is I wanted to show you guys how you can style and how you can tuck a knit with pieces like this that don't have belt loops and don't have a section where you can tuck. So what I've done is I've just taken a leather waist belt, I've put it on my high waist, I've done it up relatively tight or firmly so that I can make sure that my knit is going to stay put. And then what I've done is I've taken the bottom kind of third in the center of the knit, put it behind the belt and just flopped the knit over the top and kind of shaped the back of the knit all the way around. That way it doesn't kind of hang in an awkward position at the back. I wanted to create that umbrella shape again that I created in the first look and the look where I had the green jumper and the skirt. Now, it's a really, really cool thing to be able to use these pieces, say whether it's a thin maxi skirt, a thin midi skirt, a slimmer or a thinner pair of trousers where you feel like if you were to tuck, you're going to get a lot of bulging happening. So doing that little belt trick really helps. It's also a really good way to stretch your wardrobe further and give yourself a lot more to work with. When you're choosing your own knitwear, I think it's important to try and work out whether the piece that you're buying is natural or synthetic, or a blend of both. When it comes to something that is easier to care for, going to last a long time and feel good on the body, I always recommend choosing natural fabrics over synthetic fabrics. And I think the other thing as well is when it comes down to cost per wear, you really want to make sure that you're buying something that's going to last a long time that you can get plenty of use out of. So if you can, try and go for a mainly natural fabric jumper. The ones that you want to be a little bit wary of are synthetic fabrics that might be acrylic or nylon. Now, those fabrics aren't necessarily terrible fabrics, but they're not going to last as long as the natural fabrics, and they're also not going to feel as nice on the skin. So if you are quite wary of feeling itchy in wool or knitted fabrics, then you definitely want to steer clear of acrylic and nylon. It'll feel less itchy if it's blended with more natural fabrics, but if you're wanting to buy a fabric that is that woolen style fabric, you're best to go with something like cashmere because it's really soft and fine on the skin. And that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it and please subscribe. And if you have any ideas for future videos, please leave a comment down below. I hope you guys have a lovely week and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday with another video.